If you can learn this one thing, charts instantly start making more sense to you. Today I'm going to be teaching you support and resistance. Before I'm going to be making this video, make sure to hit that like button already and subscribe for more. If you haven't checked out the previous videos, I've been talking about the basics about crypto and the candles and market structure. If you haven't checked those, make sure to check them, they're right down below. Alright, so let's get right into it. Support and resistance, also known as levels, it's an area where buyers and sellers are fighting each other. And I think if we use a ball as an example, we can explain it the best way ever. Okay, so here we have a ball, right? And if I drop this ball on the ground, it will hit the ground and bounce up again. And if I throw the ball towards the ceiling will bounce back the ball and it will come down right away. It is literally that easy. Now that we know that the ball will bounce up and down on a ceiling or a floor, but then how does it work in crypto? We don't need this anymore. Okay, so let's dive right into it. Here we have the Bitcoin prices, where we can see that Bitcoin has been dropping and basically getting back up again. So from a certain price, the price start bouncing back up again. We can use it in multiple ways. So right over here, we can see a perfect example for a level, where you can see that right over here, it has hit the ceiling, which means that price went up and it ran back down again. We can see another scenario right over here, zoomed in, basically says that we had a bounce, and we had a big bounce. And over here you can see it as well. A lot of times actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5 times where it hit that level and price moved up. It doesn't really matter in what kind of time frame you're looking at. However, the bigger the time frame, the bigger the level will be. Which means that zoomed in, price will go up and down a lot of times. So if we dive into the 1 hour chart right over here, you can see that it had a nice bounce. It had a nice bounce. It had a huge bounce right over here. We had a bounce, we had a bounce, we had a bounce, we had a bounce, we had a huge bounce. So whenever I am looking at Bitcoin, I'm always zoomed out at first. Okay, I want to know in what kind of trend we are. I want to know where we can expect a bounce. These are the things that you need to be looking at if you're going to be diving into trading. So if we dive into, on the 4 hour chart, I want to have a bottom line and a top line. So as you can see right here, if you zoom in a little bit closer, you can see that it has a nice bounce, 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 bounce. So this is a 4 hour level. Let's just correct it a little bit better. Always go back in time. If you go back in time, you can clearly see that it has been hit before. Right over here a couple times. Here it has been tested. Here it has been tested. And it might not be the perfect example. It might not be the perfect price. I'm just doing it for the video really quickly. So you can clearly see that from this level, price has been responding. Let's move this level down a bit so we have a clearer sight on the levels. Again, I'm diving back into the price. I'm seeing responses over here, over here, over here. I am happy with this. You can dive into here as well. We can clearly see price has been responding. So right now our next task will be to dive into the 1 hour chart. In the 1 hour chart, I'm going to be making 5 new levels within this box, where I'm going to be looking at the price where it has been bouncing a couple times from. And I'm just roughly going to be placing them for now. Okay, so we got 5 lines now roughly added in, where we can clearly see that price has been responding from it. And if you zoom in a bit, you can correct it. This one looks good as well. And what I do now is I go back in the past and I'm gonna see, okay, the levels that we have been making right now, how have they been responding in the past? You can clearly see that it has been responding over here, responding over here. So right now I am happy with the levels. And if you didn't know already, what you can do with this, you can basically left click and then hold shift, left click again. You can right click it and create a group of drawings and you can name it levels. So whenever you want to hide this, you can just simply press the hide button and your chart is clear. So what is the purpose of a level? The purpose of a level is to bring balance, as in give it a shake up or give it a heads down. So it can both work as a support and a resistance. Okay, so you can clearly see that right over here, we have a response. Right over here, we have a response. Right over here, we have a response. And right over here. All of these now function as a resistance. So this level currently functions as a resistance. Now what has happened? Price broke through the level and 9 out of 10 times this happens with a big green candle or like a big impulse up. But right now price wants to function as a support and you can clearly see it as well. You can see it over here, here, even here a couple times. So we're going to be drawing this out now as well, where we have multiple scenarios where price has been using this as a support. And then we have the next level, which is functioning as a resistance again, because you can clearly see the price has been responding on it again. So this is literally what a level means. It can function as a resistance and it can function as a support. I mentioned it before already in a different video. Price goes up and down because of sellers and buyers. You can clearly see that these levels had a history, which means that people are looking into those. People are looking into levels where they can clearly expect like a bounce back. So people might be looking at a short over here, and you can do that multiple times. Let's say you're using the levels to either go long or short. So let's say we're going long over here, where our goal is to hit the next level. And it has been hit. Okay, we're seeing a response. We didn't push through. We see a response that we made a tiny lower high. Okay, let's decide to go short, focusing our next level. And there's many ways on trading. This is just on the hourly. You can even dive into the 50-minute, the 3-minute, however you want to trade. Just keep in mind that these levels, 9 out of 10 times, are also being looked at by other traders, which means that you can expect price to get a response from that level. Just keep in mind, whenever a level is broken, a resistance will be made into a support. If a support will be broken, it will now work as a resistance. I want to bring up one more thing is right now I made 2 lines on the 4-hour time frame and 5 lines on the 1-hour time frame. What you can also see a lot is people making way too many levels, way too many lines. Keep it simple, keep it basic for yourself. So whenever you're going to be trading, just start from the basics. Okay, what kind of trend are we? Do we have certain levels at certain points? Do I need to pay attention to the chart a bit more at this price level, etc, etc. But just to get back to the video that we're making right now, based on levels, the clearer a level looks, the more important it usually is. So if you thought this video was helpful for you and you learned a bit, make sure to hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do it. It's helping me out a lot. In the video down below there will also be a Discord link which has basically access to our community. Where if you join the Discord you can basically have access to all our free channels, all of the free information such as trade setups, TAs on Bitcoin, Ethereum and way more coins. So make sure to check that out as well. Alright guys, that was the video for today. In the next video we're going to be talking about gaps and how we can use them to trade with. Alright, so stay tuned for that video. Peace out guys.